It's Wednesday the 15th of July. I'm Dowd Army. This is Yarright News on Yarright TV. So firstly, our coronavirus update. The UK has recorded 225 deaths in the past 48 hours from COVID-19. Now, daily fatalities continue to drop, but the average number of new infections is higher than it was last week. Now, this graph shows the number of deaths involving COVID-19 was higher in males across most age groups. So men are more likely to die from COVID-19 than women. You know what I mean? Now, let's look at what parts of the UK have been hit the worst. Now, this picture shows the Northwest has the highest number of COVID deaths for the 7th consecutive week. So the Northwest is like struggling a bit, you know what I mean? And workers at a coronavirus hit vegetable farm in Hertfordshire went on a shopping trip to Primark and 3 other supermarkets just days before. 73 staff tested positive, according to reports. And doctors are now demanding ministers set out a clear strategy to prevent a second COVID-19 wave amid fears it could kill 120,000 Brits if it strikes again this winter. And businesses are calling Boris Johnson's plans for face masks to become law in shops utter ludicrous, and police have said it will be impossible to hand out fines. So let's get this right. 45,000 people dead, yeah? It's been 5.5 months, yeah? And after 5.5 months, the government now decides we should be wearing masks. If we should be wearing masks, they should have told us right from day fucking one. You know what I mean? So suddenly, we're all not safe unless we're wearing a mask. Bunch of fucking wankers. That's what they are, you know what I'm saying? Now, although we are apparently over the worst, let's look at some of the countries with the worst coronavirus death tolls amid spikes in new cases. The US, Brazil and the UK have seen the highest number of confirmed COVID-19 deaths. Yesterday, Mexico overtook Italy as it passed 35,000 fatalities. Now, since the outbreak of COVID-19, more than 571,000 lives have been lost. 571,000. And this pandemic is far from over. Yesterday, 230,000 infections alone were confirmed across the world. 230,000 infections. What the fuck? Over 14 million people have been infected in the last over 14 million people have been infected. In the last 24 hours, there were 66,000 new cases in the US, 45,000 cases in Brazil, and 28,000 cases in India. So just because we seem safer, the world is being ravaged by a disease that came from China. China. How come we're not hearing nothing about China anymore? There's nothing on the news or jack. They're very much to blame for this. They will not and did not let the World Health Organization or any other health organization come into their country to discuss or find out what happened, how it started or nothing. They're the most populous country in the world, and yet they only had 5,000 deaths. What a load of bollocks. Now, why do we not get any news from China anymore? There's nothing on the news now. The reason I ask this is because currently floods are everywhere across the country, with dams ready to burst due to heavy rain. 50% of China is covered in flood water. It's some of the worst widespread flooding in the history of China, and could soon be the worst flooding in the history of the world. But nothing's on the news about it. There might be a bit here and there, but nothing major. This is big news. There's also, the claims that China made over the past 2 years in the South China Sea have been rejected by the US. So Beijing claims almost all of the 1.3 million square miles of the South China Sea as its sovereign territory, saying it's our land, our sea. And over the past several years, China has built up military fortifications on numerous islands. But some of these islands and waters are claimed by several states, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei and Taiwan. Now, the US have sent numerous warships and over 200,000 soldiers there, which we talked about in the last news. Didn't you watch it, Mario? But this is not on the news, but what's going on over there at the moment. So China's not on any news, yet all this is going on with China. Zuaguan. Oh, newsflash. Donald Trump's still a fud though, know what I mean? Hey, talking about the USA and Donald Trump, what the fuck is going on in America? The United States of America, 140,000 people dead, 3.5 million people infected. In the last 24 hours, there were 15,000 new infections in Florida and 10,000 new infections in Texas. It's because of irresponsible reopening too early and the handling of it all by Donald Trump, who's supposed to be setting an example. He's setting an example of being a football. Now, America is shutting down again. Now it's choosing reality over Donald Trump's false fucking claims. While he obsessed about his re-election hopes in his White House bubble, state and local leaders are now reversing state openings that he demanded, which have turned America into the worst affected country in the world. America is now getting 60,000 new cases every day. Florida has more cases than all but 8 entire countries. Know what I'm saying? Now this graph shows how the US is knee deep in the first wave of COVID-19. America is up shit creek, I'm telling ya. Now Donald Trump had an opportunity to save thousands of lives, bring the country together and go down as the most effective and popular president in their history. Instead, he's becoming the biggest fuddle in their history. You know what I mean? Right. Let's see what's happening in other news. Donald Trump finally agrees to wear a face mask as it makes it much harder to tell when he's chatting bollocks. After the government is accused of mixed messages, Boris Johnson finally takes decisive action on face coverings. And after French health workers are rewarded with historic pay rises, that the French health workers have been given historic pay rises by the French government. Anyway, after French health workers are rewarded with historic pay rises, the UK government follows suit by bringing back parking charges for all NHS staff. Wankers. In sport, UEFA released their amended financial fair play rules after Man City are acquitted of any wrongdoing. That was a load of bollocks, wasn't it? Not me. And after Man United go on an 18-match unbeaten run and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is hailed as the Messiah, they move from 5th in the league to 5th in the league. And it is confirmed that 85% of all new infections in Blackburn are South Asian. I would have thought 85% of the population of Blackburn would have been South Asian. You know what I mean. Durex have taken protection to the next level. Check this out. And Gareth Bale dismisses reports that he's not 100% committed to his future with Real Madrid. Elton John gets into a nasty spat with a tennis player at Wimbledon. And as US ships enter the South China Sea, the UK sends its top advisors to assist them. And finally, Primark trains their staff on how social distancing will work in their stores. Now, the other day, I had a bit of a cough, bit of a sore throat, felt a bit ill, so I thought I'd get myself checked out for COVID-19, because you never know, you know what I'm saying? So I got myself tested, got my test results, and it's all clear, you know what I mean? So it's all sweet, all clear, all quality. I'm Dowd Army. This is Yeah Right News on Yeah Right TV. Yeah Right.